All right. Hey, welcome to another podcast interview with Ask Coach Jenks. We're going to get right into it. And before we do, you're at a sports bar watching football, and I'm outside listening to bottle rockets go off. So if people hear gunshots, just want to let you know it's New Year's, New Year's Eve, and we just got done watching the Cincinnati Alabama game. Let's go ahead and get into it. What'd you think about the game?
Well, it went very much like I thought it would. I predicted a 38-10 victory by Alabama, and actually, I was pretty impressed with Cincinnati's defense. I thought they contained Alabama's passing game pretty thoroughly, and yet Robinson, the fine running back, rushed for over 200 yards. They were able to gash them pretty good on inside zone plays and keep the sticks moving down the field there in that fashion. So I think probably the critical point of the game was when the one young man took the cheap shot at the Alabama player and ripped his headgear off, and of course Cincinnati guy was ejected, and that put the ball right on the goal line for another easy score by Alabama, and it was pretty much under control at that time from that point. But again, was not a very surprise, much of a surprise, but certainly wasn't an embarrassing outing by Cincinnati. They had a great season, and they did play good defense tonight, and yet Alabama comes up just again right at the right moment, and here they are once again knocking on the door for another national title run. We're going to see what happens with Michigan and Georgia.
Yep. Yeah, I was surprised by Cincinnati. I thought they looked good, and it looked like an old school Alabama team. A lot of great runs, a
Yeah.
very disciplined defense, and the pass game just wasn't, you know, excellent. I guess if that's what you want to call it. I don't know if it was
Yeah,
meant.
it's like I think you described it pretty good, Rafe. It was typical to an old school Nick Saban team, where he relied heavily on the run and played great defense and special teams on the day to win this thing. That's how they used to win games, pretty much week in and week out, to the tune of, like in this one, 27-6, 30-10, this type of game, and before Tui showed up and they started spraying the ball around the park. So, yeah, they did it with run game and defense and special teams tonight.
So what do you think? I mean, you think it's just like they just had a great run game and a good system for the run team, and they just didn't stop what was working, or was the pass game not working? Like, what was going on in your opinion?
Looking at this from a TV angle, it looked like Cincinnati's front four was getting good pressure to keep Bryce off balance, uh, and up front though, I think the run lanes were there for the Alabama run game. Running that zone play, and Robinson having great vision like he does, and a fine offensive line. Versatile bunch of guys that can run block and pass block. They did the job tonight.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. What about Desmond Ritter? I don't know if you saw this, but like in the 2017 recruiting class, he was a 3-star. He only had one offer. He was like, ranked 1,600th player in the nation, and
Yeah.
then he ends up being like one of the best quarterbacks because he had like a 43-5 record. Like
Right.
what's your perspective on a 3-star accomplishing so much in a
Well,
program
here's
like
here's
Cincinnati?
once again, you've heard me say this over and over, all around the country and around the world. Don't rely on any kind of preseason ratings by any scouting service. That's for sure. You can go back. I think the Super Bowl showed us that a few years ago, where they went back into the history of all the players playing in the Super Bowl game. This was I want to say it was the Patriots and the Falcons. Uh, there was only one 5-star represented player that was in high school. That was Julio Jones. for the Falcons. The rest of them were 3-star guys, 2-star guys, or even not even mentioned. And again, what does that tell you? Hey, you're talking about develop players, and you're talking about determination of players, guys that stuck, kept working to improve, and that's what we coach. That's what we teach in football: is bounce back and continue to improve yourself. And again, that's the case with this young man at quarterback for Cincinnati. No different than my experiences with great quarterbacks over the years. Andre Ware, for instance, wins the Heisman. He threw one touchdown pass his entire career in high school. David Klingler, great record breaker, also was a wishbone quarterback. Very talented guy, but did a lot of running, not much. So it comes down to just like Coach Luke Fickle and his staff. They take guys, they develop them, and what a great season they had. 13 and here.